Happy Motivational Monday, guys. Today I have Joseph Arthur in the house. We're going to be talking to you guys about how to overcome your fear. Welcome, guys. Today we're going to talk about how to overcome your fear. Joseph, you are a conqueror of fear in these past couple of months here.
Oh man.
You want to just talk a little bit about like your experience of overcoming fear in your life in the past few days, or what got you to those points?
So let's define fear first of all. I believe it's gotten way too much praise, and whatever you focus on, you really, your energy is driven way towards that. So whatever you focus on, your energy goes right to it. So if you focus more on fear, at the end of the day, you will think about it more, and it would deter you from doing what you really want to do. So number one is to really define fear. Number two is there is a pro and a con when it comes to fear. The pro is it actually protects you. So let's just say, for instance, I go on top of this building and I want to step down. I should be afraid of stepping down because it's protecting me from stepping down, doing something stupid, right?
Right.
So that's the pro. And the con is when it's actually holding you back from moving towards your goal. And really, at the end of the day, it's really figuring out where's the pros and the cons when it comes to fear.
And what are some of the pros and cons that you've had in your journey as far as something you've overcome more so recently, jumping out of a plane? Obviously the fear of heights. And I think a lot of our audience can relate to that. A fear of heights is a very common fear that people have.
You know, it's been 10 years that I've always wanted to jump out of a plane. 10 years. That's 10 years of like, am I going to do it? Am I never? And finally it was a decision that needed to be made. The decision has to be made. Once you make the decision, that's progressing you towards actually overcoming the fear. So the decision was made that I'm going to do it. And it took me 10 years to do it. And then finally, I booked the event. I paid for it. I scheduled it. So you make the decision and then you schedule it. And then another thing that I did in the process, because I had roughly about 2 weeks after I booked the event, was I sat down and I envisioned actually going through this. So guys, first of all, make a decision, book the event, and if you have some time, just really envision yourself going through the process. And I believe that actually reduces how much anxiety that's probably taking place. And what's funny right now is I have a fear of camera. As I was driving here and I'm thinking about this and it's getting hot in my car, I had to turn the air up and I'm sweating, and I'm probably sweating right now and probably a little nervous. So really what I'm doing right now is overcoming a fear. And there's so many tactics and so many exercises that I work with my clients on how to overcome these fears.
And I think that's a good point. You said you envisioned yourself already doing it. So have you envisioned yourself already on camera before you got here?
Funny thing is I actually did not.
And how did that help or not help?
That's why I'm far more nervous right now.
If you would have envisioned it prior.
Exactly. It would have been better.
So for those people out there who are not as futuristic thinking and always thinking about the future, this is a point in time where you actually want to do that, because then you feel like in your mind like you already did it. And something you said earlier really spoke to me. You said that when you had done it, if you didn't have video proof that you had conquered it, you almost wouldn't believe that you actually did it.
Yes.
And that's huge because you did overcome it, and you got to pat yourself on the back a little bit that you overcame it, and your mind is almost tricking you that it didn't, even when you were telling yourself prior that you did.
Yeah, and I think probably even in my mind, I probably got to the point where it was slightly confusing because I envisioned so much that, and that envisioning obviously was not real, but when I went to do it, my mind has kind of just come back, or just simply put everything together and just say, did you do it? Did you not do it? Did you do it? Didn't it? And if I seriously had no footage, I simply would question if I really did jump out of a plane or not.
And I mean, so fear will take over your life if
Yes.
you let it run your life, right?
Absolutely.
So the fear of doing anything, whether it be starting a business, whether it be talking to a person that you want to talk to, jumping out of a plane. So when someone's really overthinking something,
Yeah.
do you feel like that fear is going to control their actions? How can they change those actions to not let the fear control them?
It has to do with, number one, the mindset. And there are a lot of ways that you can go about it. And you can really adjust your brain pattern and your thought pattern and where you're going. And you can either focus on the solution, the outcome, by envisioning yourself going through whatever exercise that you want to. So I think that's a very, very important thing that you can do, is focus on the outcome, the solution that you're going after, rather than, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? What could happen? What will happen? At the end of the day, it has not happened, right?
Right.
So I don't know, does that answer your question, really?
Yeah, and I think so. So one other one that you had mentioned was something about feelings, the
Yeah.
feelings that you had, and all the emotions that were kind of coming up as you were coming out of the plane. You're closing your eyes. You're feeling it all at once. When you focus on the good feeling of it all rather than the fear, like how did that change everything for you? Like the excitement that you had to finally be doing it and the overcoming something that you've overcome.
Number one, the good feelings puts you in a relaxed state. And it could be joy, it could be excitement. It feels great. A good feeling just simply feels good. Biochemically changes your mind, it alters, and a lot of things are adjusted internally. Yeah. So from that, if you really focus on those good feelings, I believe that actually would be what would transport you to overcoming the specific situation. So again, as I said, yes, we went through skydiving. If I didn't have footage, I would have questioned. I actually blacked out jumping out of the plane. Like, just a split second was like, I said, if I'm going to meet death, I'm going to meet it with my eyes completely closed.
But you made it.
I did. Thankfully.
And you said that now that you overcame the fear, here's another big thing, is a lot of people are afraid to start a business, and all of a sudden they start a business, and then they do multiple businesses because they overcame it, right? And they knew they could do it. You said that you would jump out of a plane again now.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even think about it.
Right.
And you'd want to have your arms open, you'd keep your eyes open the whole time.
Right.
I think it's funny that as soon as you overcome fear, you go, okay, I want to do it again, and I want to do it better. I want to do it even better than the last time.
I agree.
And I think that fear prevents you from even starting. And when you actually start, everything changes because your perspective has changed, your mindset has changed, and now you've come out almost a new person.
Yep.
Because you're thinking differently,
Yep.
and you're thinking clearly about what that fear had done to you, and you see it not as an obstacle anymore, right?
Exactly. I think it's more like a recipe. Once you know how to make a specific dish, you can really make that dish over and over again. So once you figure out a method of how to overcome certain things, like, for instance, if you have discipline in one area of your life, I believe it could be transitioned into other areas. So essentially, hey, I overcame fear, so I can start this business. Now guess what? I can take the same step, the same example to start another business, So the initial step, the initial phase is what's crucial. And I do believe once you break through and you bust through it, that's when you can take that same mindset, that same attitude, and adjust it and put it to other areas of your life.
Awesome. So one thing I wanted to touch on was this is something as a coach that you teach your clients.
Correct.
Is how to overcome fear. So if you guys are interested in working with Joseph, I'm going to leave his contact details in the box below. So if you have anything that you're trying to overcome, and whether it be your business or your personal life, Joseph's the man to go to, overcoming one fear after another. And if you guys have any comments or questions below, feel free to leave them in the comment box. Please subscribe, like, and hit that bell icon for any notifications for any upcoming videos. And we look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Thank you so much. Peace.